remember, I want to say this. I want to start by saying this, because this is the exact thing I thought of after watching this reboot, the trailer for this reboot. You guys remember the Simpsons movie, right? You guys remember watching the Simpsons movie. And you remember certain things that in that movie that we didn't see in the show. Stuff like Bart naked, Homer flipping the bird, Marge saying throw the goddamn bomb. It wasn't overly vulgar, but it were the little things that reminded you, yeah, this ain't network TV. Like they are on the big screen. There's a little bit more room to color outside the lines. I mean, granted, the Simpsons movie, they could have went into F-bomb territory, but they didn't. There was some restraint there. But there was like, let's take advantage of this. Like, we have this kind of freedom right now. It was mildly shocking, but it was firmly PG-13 for the Simpsons movie. And it was pleasantly adult without overreaching. And that's kind of the nice thing from the looks of this iCarly reboot trailer, is that, you know, they said coming out when this was announced that it was going to be a little bit more adult, but it's not overly. Yeah. I mean, what do we see in the 1.5-minute trailer? Spencer says, damn it, almost broke my pearls over here, clutching, hearing Jerry Trainor say, damn it. You have them drinking cocktails and drinking beer. And then you have Carly, Miranda Cosgrove, saying sexy. And I'm like, okay, I can vibe with this. This is like a little bit upped. Now, if Jennette
What trailer did you watch? You didn't. I saw iCarly tell Comcast to go fuck off because their show relied on internet marketing.
But no, I let me just say, if Jennette McCurdy were in this reboot, it would probably be TVMA.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
They would probably have to go even color more outside the lines. But yeah, that all happens in the 1.5-minute long iCarly reboot trailer. It starts streaming on Paramount Plus on June 17th. And I'm going to be honest, I was never, it's nebulous to say this, but like, I don't want to say I was never a fan of iCarly, but I watched every damn episode. But, you know, iCarly was all right. It was decent. It got a little too silly at times. It got a little too random, which is one of my complaints about kid shows these days. But the chemistry was undeniable. The cast was uniformly likable. And everybody seemed like they were having a good time. And you kind of get that spirit now. And I'm looking forward to this. I can't lie. A week ago, I was maybe indifferent. After seeing this reboot trailer, though, there's grounds to be at least somewhat excited for this thing, because the spirit is nigh. Most of the same people are returning, save for one particular person who was fired from Nickelodeon. He shall not be named. A woman is now, I can't think of her name, but a woman is now helming the show as a whole, which is for the better. But it looks, I like it. I like the look of this. It's humorous. It's light. It's kind of fluffy in a way. And damn, Jerry Trainor does not age.
Dude,
guy has
my God.
Like, he looks the exact same. Nathan Kress is a totally different person. Nathan Kress, like, he's married. He's got the stubble. He's not as boyish.
Seeing Freddie with a beard and, like, you know, like parting his hair and everything, not having the spiky hair that he had, like, as like a kid and everything, I was just like, holy crap. And then Spencer, just like, yeah, dude is like a vampire. Like, Miranda Cosgrove, like, she looks like an older version of Miranda Cosgrove. It looks like not much time has passed for her either.
Freddie's mom looks the same too.
Yeah. Jerry, on the other hand, looks like he never left. Like as much as it's like, oh, in 2010 we ended the show, it's like, well, he just stayed frozen in the iCarly studio until they needed him again.
In the old Nickelodeon slime bucket, he just like
frozen slime.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys took to it, but I like this. I like the edge. I like the soft incorporation of edge. I'm glad it doesn't go this full R-rated thing.
Yes.
But I'm glad that it's aged. You know what it has? It's aged with us. It's aged with us.
Yes.
Because the show ended in 2012. What were we? 13, somewhere around, or maybe a little bit, about 15 or so. It started when we were about 12 or so. You know, so it's aged with its audience, and I think that point of cognizance on the creator's behalf shows in this trailer.
Yeah, it's honestly exciting for me to see. I am actually low-key hyped for it. I wasn't at all before. Like we mentioned, like, oh yeah, they're doing a reboot of iCarly. Didn't think about it at all. Now that I've seen the trailer, damn it. Like Spencer level, damn it. Because I am actually low-key hyped. And I should mention my background on iCarly. I mentioned it before. I don't know if I mentioned this before actually, but I still have an iCarly fanfiction on fanfiction.net. No, I will not tell you the name, but it's still on there. I checked. And yeah, dude, I loved iCarly. There's something about it
Clearly.
there's something about it that I really enjoyed. And I think it was the fact that it was that feeling of, hey, these are kind of like your friends who have a quirky web show. And that's like when iCarly came out, that was like the perfect time for it. That was still like pre-YouTube getting corporate. I mean, it was always corporate, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really, really corporate and being really shitty in so many ways. So when but that innocence of the before of these kids having the show and you growing up with them, we are pretty much their age, right? It is really cool. It was really, and still is really cool to see them have fun in ways that you kind of can, but kind of can't. They have crazy adventures, but anyone can do a web show these days, as we are clearly proving. And really just seeing them back in action is actually really, it struck a nerve with me, which is like every producer, every executive's like, yes, we finally got him. Fuller House wasn't his thing, but iCarly, this is it, baby. This is it. And it's like reboots are an industry in and of themselves these days. They are a subgenre and it's plagued, riddled with all sorts of issues. But there is always that hope that this one will not be shit. Right, this one will learn. And as Steve mentioned, there were a lot of times where it was kind of like, hey, so random. Its humor was, it was like it wanted to be internet humor, but it can't have that edge. So you just kind of have to play it off in a very kiddie way, and then it doesn't feel so internet anymore.
That's a good way to put it.
Maybe they can again, no F-bombs. I'm not expecting that. It would be. I wouldn't really enjoy too much of it.
They could adopt our rule, like you get one a show, or like maybe they could adopt our rule. I would be okay with that because there's gonna be one. There's gonna be one. I would bet money right now that somebody's gonna say it at one point.
Okay, I'll take you up on that. But
you want to bet? You want to bet? What do you want to bet? What do you want to bet? I'm willing to bet we will. $5. I will bet $5 there will be at least one F-bomb in iCarly.
In the whole series?
In the whole first season.
In the whole first season, and it has to be like fuck. It's not like cut off like foot and then like train passes by.
Yes, it has to be the fully enunciated word. $5? $5?
Yeah. I'll do $5 next time we have dinner. Next time we all see each other. But
you're on.
Just want to say before I pass it off to Joe here, it's going to be interesting to see how now that it has that slight edge, and now that it's the year 2021, and so much has happened since then, just in the world. I'm not saying it needs to get political or anything. Not that. Everything's political. I don't mind, but like, it doesn't need to get super mega woke and political or make Trump references, but it just has that edge in a world that has really grown and matured tenfold exponentially since it was last on the air. So it's kind of exciting for me. Joe, what are your thoughts?
I'm gonna have to be the opposite here. I look at this trailer and I'm just like, we're really going to make Carly woke now. We're going to put people of color in this. Like, come on. No, I'm kidding. This was just a comment I read. This was a comment I read. No, man. Okay, look, I'm in the same boat as Steve. It wasn't my thing. I as much as I said it wasn't my thing, I'm pretty sure I watched the show the whole way through. I'm
the only one man enough to admit it.
It's weird. Like, because I love Drake and Josh. I liked I almost said Zoe. Zoe 101. It's just for some reason with iCarly, I was like, yeah, I'm not about it, but I tuned in every night to watch it on
every
Nick.
night. Every single night, I'm the same way.
I think it was just because, like, maybe because, like, as a kid, I had a crush on Miranda Cosgrove. I loved Jerry.
We all did.
Jerry Trainor, I
I
thought
was more of a Jennette McCurdy guy.
Jennette McCurdy was also hot. Like, I mean, as a kid, like, I also had a crush on her. So I think it was just that. I was like, well, I'll watch two pretty girls and Spencer do something crazy for 30 minutes. That's my time. And then Gibby, I mean, like, you want to talk about one of the best secondary characters of all time in television. I'll give it to that kid. But I'm going to say this, as somebody who wasn't, like, crazy about it, the trailer actually, yeah, it made me a little bit excited. I was like, yeah, I got to check this out. Because I think the, like, whole thing of, like, we are rebooting it. It's going to be on Paramount Plus, so we can get away with a few things, and we can make it a bit edgier. I'm like, okay, let me see what you do. Like, and there are some jokes in the trailer. I'm just like, yeah, it seems like typical, like, Nickelodeon, the Dan Schneider era. I know we're not supposed to drop his name, but, like, it seems that typical, like, humor. But, like, it still is charming, though. There's something charming about seeing them all come back and everything, and just, like, seeing the chemistry is still there. I'm like, yeah, I gotta check this out. I won't go further into it because, like, again, I'm not crazy about it, but I am interested in checking it out, and I am looking forward. And I don't know if Steve announced this already, but I am looking forward to reviewing the pilot come later this month. Actually, I keep forgetting.
June 23rd.
I keep forgetting that they said, like, oh yeah, it's coming on June 17th at the end of the trailer. Actually, my jaw dropped when I saw that. I'm like, man, I thought this was coming at the end of the year. I didn't know they shot and edited this whole thing that quick.
I know, it seems like no time, but we'll review it on June 23rd. The last thing I'll bring up, and Dom made me think about this when he was talking about, like, how it really was the first of its kind, the show, to be like a show about a web show, an internet show, before those were explicitly common. I read an article today about Johnny Knoxville because Jackass 4 is coming out at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And he was talking about, Jackass's legacy and everything. And the writer, it was more of an analysis of the interview, but the writer mentioned about how, like, Jackass was so counterculture at the time because it was like, here are these, like, punk skater kids whose parents are wealthy, but here are these guys rebelling against their own parents and their own sort of customs and dynamics by just kicking each other in the nuts, doing drugs and drinking and living this, like, punk rock lifestyle. And it predated a lot of the stuff now on TikTok, these viral pranks and these sort of viral comedy bits and stuff. And it's sort of the same thing with iCarly, that we can now go back and realize that was like, yeah, this show was ahead of its time because shows like us exist now. But back in, like, 2008, when it was still, internet connections and everything and just sort of knowledge and wherewithal, there was no real blueprint to do something like this. To see it in iCarly was really sort of the same principle as Jackass, just for the time and the landscape.
There's a quick visual. The first thing we see in the new trailer, actually, I should mention that Nathan Kress's character, Freddy, whenever he filmed the show, he was the filming guy. Whenever he filmed the show, he had this massive, over-the-shoulder camera. The first scene in the trailer is him just holding a phone, and it's probably 10 times as better fidelity than his big ass camera. And I'm like, that signaled to me immediately, like, okay, maybe the show will know what it's talking about, and it's a little smarter this time around, which give me hope.
I mean, half a recurring gag in that show was that he had to lug around that damn cart. Like up and down the elevator and up and down the stairs when they would go on the road and stuff. And now it's like, you see it, this is iCarly right here. It's cute. It's cute. It's got a little sass and a little edge too. I'm pumped. And man, Nathan Kress, no wonder he got married at like 22 years old. What a handsome dude. What a good looking man. He matured. Like puberty hit him like a Mack truck after that show. And he just became like he went from simping over Carly to like, these hoes ain't loyal over here. That's cute to end it.